Okay, hello everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about REV.com, which is possibly one of the biggest players in making money online that you'll see, and it is one of the most controversial, definitely for good reason. And the reason is by most standards, it's extremely difficult and it's hard to earn a good amount of money. Now, I actually have a lot of experience in this because I worked for a while as a transcriptionist, and REV was one of the first places that I learned transcription for, and I will never regret my time I invested in REV, even though the earnings were so low. And the reason is simply it's given me an invaluable skill set that I've been able to use in most other areas of my life from then on, and that skill is touch typing speed, which is extremely useful in anything productive you're doing. Most work these days is knowledge worker work, and you will be using a keyboard to touch type. So let's talk about it. I'm going to give you my tips today to earn the most money, and this will help you find out if it's worth investing your time or if you should do something else. Well, if you want to make good money as a transcriptionist, which is someone who listens to or watches something and writes down the audio, you need to be fast. That is tip number one, and everyone knows this. You need to be really fast, and I'm going to tell you how I got really fast at touch typing. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It took ages. I practiced touch typing for years. I am now at a speed of around 110 words per minute. That's how fast I type on average, and even with 110 words per minute and utilizing the other tips, I could only get a few dollars per hour on REV. So it depends. Do you think that's worth it for you? If you really like this and you really like listening to things and writing it down, perhaps it is worth it. But for most of you, it probably won't be. Let's talk about how to get fast. First off, you need to use a website that comprehensively teaches good touch typing skills and habits. There are many a website where you can study and learn and practice words, but they won't embed good habits in you. I really recommend Touch Typing Club, but there are many other ones. But what you need to look out for is that the website teaches you where to put your fingers on the keyboard and make sure that you're doing that appropriately. Now, I would recommend practicing for at least 20 minutes to half an hour a day, and as soon as you start, I mean the first time you start, spend maybe half an hour to an hour, and from then on, commit to only touch typing from now on. Don't look at the keyboard, and for all of the typing activities you do in the day, only touch type. If you send a message to your friend, if you search something on YouTube, if you're typing an email or an essay for school, only touch type. This will dramatically slow how fast you type for a good while. For me, my touch typing speed went from relatively fast, around 50 or 60 words per minute, and it dropped to like 20 for maybe a week. But then after that, my speed started to consistently get faster and faster, and I've used this throughout all of my academic career. I've used it throughout my bachelor degree, my master's degree in computer science. I've used this in my personal life, in making YouTube videos and writing. It is a fundamental skill. So, even if you do not work for REV, learn touch typing. It's really worth it. Next, use a text expander. This is very important because you're not going to be able to earn those higher tiers of money that really make transcription worth it if you do not use text expanders. Other people might not talk about this. This might be too advanced for some people, but I'm going to tell you because this is what I did, and this is what professional transcriptionists actually do. They use text expanders. A text expander takes common or difficult words and you assign them a little mnemonic or an arbitrary few letters, and that program will expand it into the full word as you type. So, something like therefore, the word therefore, might be used quite a lot by people you listen to. So, in your text expander program, you will write the word therefore and then change that to be TF. So every time you write TF and a space, that TF will expand into therefore. Initially, when you start, this will not increase your speed dramatically, but over time, it really will change your speed. I can guarantee it, because when you're getting the most important words in a sentence to be expanded, you're essentially halving or going down to 1/3 of the keystrokes that you would be using otherwise. So if you're having words like the and to be 1 or 2 letters, you are saving time every single sentence you type. This can really help, and this is an advanced skill that real transcriptionists use. And if you're actually serious about REV and you're not just doing this for fun, then a text expander is the way you essentially have to go. The next important thing is to make sure that you leverage any skills that you have. Now, you may have medical training, you may have legal training. Both of those are really important in transcription and can help you unlock higher paying transcriptions. Also, one that I don't see people talk about much, but is actually the way that I earned most of my money on REV, and I earned about a few $100s when I was on REV for my time there, is using accents. So, for example, if you have an accent, or if you're from an area where people have a heavy accent, that is really to your advantage. I'm from Australia. There are people with really thick Australian accents that are almost impossible to understand if you're not a native English speaker. And more than that, they reference places and nouns that unless you're from Australia, you'd have no idea how to spell or where to even start researching. You'd start Googling and you wouldn't even be able to find those places. So that is a skill that I had. And so there were a lot of Australian podcasts that needed transcription that only people with an intimate knowledge of Australian slang and accents could transcribe. And that made me much more competitive. So think about what you have in your life that can make you competitive, because that is where your money will come in. And that's a general piece of life advice as well. Always consider your leverage and what you have that can give you the advantage. The next one that is fundamentally important to see if it's even worth spending any of your time is to calculate your time and your earnings. You need to seriously track your time. I recommend using a software like Toggle. It's spelled Toggl. I use that to track my time. You want to track your time seriously and track your earnings and compare the two, because REV gives you little previews as to how much you will earn per minute. But really, you need to be documenting this for yourself so that you can measure up how much money you're getting from this versus how much money you're getting from somewhere else. There may be other jobs or other things, like things I've mentioned on my channel, such as doing surveys on Prolific or even on Swagbucks, which could earn you a lot more money than transcribing on REV. For example, when I was doing REV close to full time, I always interrupted my REV to do my Prolific surveys because they paid way much per hour. But I didn't know that until I started writing down how much I was earning per hour. And I was fastidious about it. I was very specific about how much I was earning. And I found out that I was earning about $3 more per hour on Prolific. So it was almost always worth it. But as with anything, everything comes with pros and cons. If you, for some reason, really enjoy transcribing, like you listen to podcasts and you're learning something new and you're writing down every word, maybe you can think of this in a different way. Maybe it doesn't all have to be about money. But I implore you to seriously write down the pros and cons of anything you're doing, especially involving money, so that you know where to best invest your time, because your time matters. Now, the last tip I have is to keep trying new methods of making money and making the most of your time. As you can see here, I have a poorly generated AI piece of art. And the reason is, I know that people watching this video are not going to care if my slideshow has a random piece of AI art or not. They're going to listen for the information they need for the best of their time. So for me, I'm not going to waste my time finding some random stock image. I'm going to generate it and put it in automatically. And the reason is for that because I know what the best use of my time is. And I really implore you to do the same with your time. Please invest in yourself. Watch YouTube videos about how to manage your time. Watch videos on what methods are the best to earn money. Practice your touch typing because that will save you dividends. That will save you so much time in your life. If you can type your essays faster, if you can get that work in faster, you'll make way more money. And explore new methods of making money, more lucrative methods. Manage your time because your time is your life and your time is all you have. So this is how I want to end the video because I want to end it on a semi-positive but serious note because I've seen so many people on Reddit and different forums saying that REV absorbed so much of their life because they got obsessed and they wanted to know how can they speed up just by a second to earn a few cents per hour more. Is that worth it for you? Seriously, sit back and think, is this worth your life and worth your time? If this is one of the only things you can do, for example, you cannot get an in-person job because you have a disability that is too severe to be able to navigate practical in-person situations and you need to be at home, and this is one of the only things you can imagine yourself doing, this may be worth your time. I'm sure there are other things you can also do. But if you're doing this because you think you'll be able to earn a ton, this is lucrative, I'm telling you right now it's not. You will not earn a lot of money no matter how hard you try with REV. Okay? This is your dose of realism. I'm here to give you the most realistic and down-to-earth advice about earning money because everyone online inflates how much you're going to earn because, boy, that video that says you're going to earn $50 an hour is going to get so many more clicks. But trust me, it's not real life. This is real life. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.